Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Thanks so much for joining me. Today's project comes to you as part of the Embossing Folder Friday Hop. Once a month, a few of us get together and create a project that features an embossing folder. Today I'm going to be featuring two. This hop is coordinated through the Facebook group called Handmade Happiness. I'll go ahead and link that below. If you are a card maker and a video maker, please feel free to check that out and join us for our next hop in the month of November. So this folder, this first one, is one that I've had in my stash for quite some time. I think it's Darius, but it's clearly, you know, a sweater knit kind of pattern. So I'm going to use that on part of my card today. And also this one that I just opened, which is an Echo Park. And it is just a bunch of pumpkins with a few fall leaves scattered around, which is really fun. I'm excited to use that today. So in addition to embossing folders, we are going to be using this brand new stamp set that I just got in the mail yesterday. And it is from Maymay Made It. It is called Mug Season. How perfect. So this came in the mail and I realized I was doing a fall or Halloween embossing folder project, and this fit perfectly. I love any kind of mug, coffee, hot cocoa kind of imagery in my crafting, so this is perfect for that. And Maymay actually has quite a few different stamp sets that include coffee mugs and teapots and things like that. So check those out as well. But this new one is the stamp of the month for October, the regular stamp club. And you can check that out below. I'll go ahead and link it if you want to check it out. This one has some sentiments. It says, "You're the everything nice to my pumpkin spice," and also happy hugging a mug season. It includes some little, I don't know if these are like heat or smell kind of wisps, the little pumpkins, couple different lids, a snowflake, and this, which is not only a straw but also a peppermint stick. So you can see one of the ends is at an angle and one is kind of flat with the opening there. So I'm going to use this in our card today. I used my Misty today because I knew I wanted to stamp these images multiple times. When you are moving a piece of paper and you have ink on your stamp already and you don't want to smudge your clean paper, you can use a piece of acetate and lay it on top of your stamped image while you kind of reposition your stamp or your paper. And that's what I've done here today, is use a piece of acetate so that I can lay that down. Then I move the acetate out of the way once I have the stamp and paper in the position that I want them in. For this first embossing folder, which is the pumpkins, I'm using a brown ink. This is Rich Cocoa from Memento. I am going to add brown ink on both sides. That way I can get the inked impression of both the embossed and debossed sides to give myself a couple of different options for this card. So here we see the front and or back, and then the front and or back. And I like both of them, but you'll see which one I choose at the end of the video when I put it together. For this next embossing folder with the knit pattern, I use an orange ink and a yellow piece of cardstock, and I do the same thing here. I ink both sides and tape it together, run it through, and that way I get to see what both sides look like inked up and decide that way which side I'm going to use. To clean up these embossing folders, I'm just using my regular Squeaky Clean today. I use Squeaky Clean to clean my stamps as well. So I just give it a couple sprays and wipe it down with the same cloth that I would clean my stamps with. Okay, so I went ahead and colored in some of the images that we stamped earlier, and I cut this little guy at an angle. The color on the screen, probably because of the lighting and the blue background, looks a little more yellow than in real life. So of course it can show up different on your screen, but I did a little bit of matching the color of the alcohol markers I used, and of course matching these two embossing folder images. So I went ahead and cut this at an angle as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a ruler and we are going to cut the rest of that. So I'm just going to line these up the best I can and use the ruler to kind of get the correct angle on my cut here. Because this is already embossed, using a regular paper trimmer isn't really going to work because it can get caught in between the different levels of the paper and not get a clean cut. So now that I know the angle I want, I'm going to go ahead and work through. Probably would have been smarter to do it on the other side, but that's not what I did. And I'm just going to make a few passes with light pressure. And there we go. Just going to burnish that a little bit with my finger to take away any of the fuzzy edges. So now I'm just going to start layering up our card, starting with this part. Of course, I'm doing a top folding card, which is my general preference, using wet glue so I can kind of get around those little grooves. And let's hope that fits. It fits. Okay. Gonna go ahead and glue this down. If you're doing this technique and butting the two up against each other and they're just not quite right, you can always put a thin strip of cardstock over your seam, or also use something like washi tape. And I'm going to go ahead and just give this a little more dimension by using some foam tape. And then just to kind of break it up, I'm going to use some of these white gloss enamel dots. These are ones that I picked up from Gina Marie Designs. She has a lot of really great, for one, really great dyes that are very affordable. And also, I got this sheet for, I think, $2, so which is a pretty good price considering they are really great quality. I haven't had any problems with them, and they don't all stick together, so meaning that you don't have to cut them apart to get them to be individual. So I have 3 already. I'm supposed to stop at a odd number. Put one here. Oh, maybe down a little further. How about here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna use one of those smaller ones, just right down here. Here.
Thanks so much for joining me for another video. I hope you enjoyed this one. Don't forget to check out the other hoppers. They are going to be linked in the description box below. And don't forget, safety first.